Hey everyone, my name is LaKiesha and welcome to another Chart With Me video. And today we are going to chart XAUUSD, which is also known as gold. And I make these videos so that way you can become a better trader, and specifically with these videos, become better at market analysis, because that is everything. So just wanted to kind of highlight some of the things that we talked about last week. As you can see, a lot of the analysis played out, although it was insanely choppy this past week, especially through here. I know I took a couple of trades, three trades this week. Two were profitable, one was not, but since I risked the same thing each time, I ended up profitable for this week, so that's always amazing. It was really challenging with all of this chop, so hopefully you were able to catch some moves this week. If not, then this video is really going to help you be better prepared for the upcoming week. So let's go ahead, like we do all the time. We clear the charts. Okay, no, don't know what's happening there. Clear the charts and remove all drawings. We start completely from scratch. So let me go ahead and also clear this because we don't need that anymore. And let's start on the weekly time frame. So one of the key things that I talked about last week was basically, let me get my arrow, was talking about this bullish engulfing candle and the possibility for there to be continued sales for this week. We do see that this week candle did also close bearish. Now, one of the key things to realize is that this particular candle for this week, because the market just closed a few hours ago, is the fact that this is a weak bearish candle. So it means that it has very little bearish momentum, and there is a possibility for price to actually reverse next week. Obviously, these are really tricky situations because price can sometimes fake you out, think, hey, we're going to go up, but really it goes down. So this is just something to pay attention to. It just means that the volume to the downside has decreased quite a bit compared to the previous week. So there could be continued buys. So anyway, as usual, we plan for the upside and the downside on these videos. So let's go ahead and mark up our charts. So let me get my boxes, and the first thing I want to mark up here on the daily time frame is this resistance level here. Okay, cool. I still got the teal on this particular market. Awesome. So anyway, so I'm just making this bigger so that way it's a bit easier for us to see. And before we continue, if you're not already, follow me on Instagram because I do share a ton of tips and trading hacks and all of that. So all of this is for your benefit. So it's definitely beneficial for you to tap that follow button and learn some more stuff about trading. All right, back to this. So let's go ahead and mark off another level here on the daily time frame. And the level that I see is right here around 23.27, closer to 23.30. And this level, if I didn't say it before, it's at 24.30 almost. So I wanted to mark off these levels mainly because it formed a resistance here and then price sold off, and then it formed a support here and then price pulled back a little bit before continuing back down. Now, thinking back to the weekly time frame, how I talked about the bearish momentum decreasing, this is why. So this is why, because we formed a support on the daily, we pulled back, and then we failed to make new lows. So it went down a little bit lower than its support, but not by much. So that's why this upcoming week is probably going to be really interesting. So anyway, so that's why I want to support here. And then I also want another line right here at 2360-ish zone, and it may look a little bit different depending on what chart you are using. So for instance, I am using the, I'm using the Oanda chart. So if you use a different one, it may look a bit different. Talked a little fast there. But anyway, I want to put this line right here mainly because this range above here, at least on the daily time frame, is really clean. So this is, if you're trading the daily time frame, this could be a really good opportunity, but obviously we like to go down to lower time frames and really plan out our trades because that allows us to get smaller stop losses. So anyway, so these are the levels that I want to mark off on the daily. So let's go ahead and go down to, let's go to the H4 time frame and see what's happening there. So let me reset and then make it a little bit easier. Okay, so on the H4 time frame, I am going to adjust this top level, mainly because I see the resistance, the resistance and the rejections. I was trying to say that fast. And what I see here, it looks really good because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rejections here, and then we also have a nice resistance. It came back to retest, and then it just sold off tremendously. And it looks like that was, oh, that was in the middle of the day. Okay, cool. So anyway, so we also have this resistance level up here. I'm not going to mark that off on this H4 time frame because I have a feeling that as we go down to lower time frames, then we'll see some better information for us to be able to plot out that line even better. So same thing I'm going to do with this line here. I'm going to make it a little bit slimmer, and then I'm also going to move it up. And as you can see, it's intersecting these candles right here and then touching this. So I always want to prioritize the price action that has happened most recently. So I'm going to keep it right here around 2360. And then same thing I'm going to do for this level right here, make this box a little bit slimmer and just keep it in the same spot, mainly because I like that we have a nice resistance here. We also have some rejections right here. As we go to lower time frames, we may get more information to better adjust this level. But for right now, it's looking really great. And another thing I do want to mark off before we move to a lower time frame is another level. Just because I like to plan for the upside and for the downside. So I do see this really strong level right here around 2300 flat. And let me see what it looks like if I drag this over. Oops, let me try that again. Okay, so if I drag this over, see what I see. Okay, that looks okay, but I'm just gonna put that back just because I want to keep my charts clean. But here's a level here, and then I also see another level right here. Basically, we have a nice support, we have a bunch of resistances, and then a little support right there. So let me measure this range because I also like to make sure that there's enough range for me. Oh yeah, this is 117 pips. Definitely enough range. I've extended this line, and then I also want to extend this line as well. All right, cool. So this is looking good here on the H4 time frame. So let's go ahead and go to H2 and make some minor adjustments. Okay, so this is the time frame. I want to mark off this resistance level right here. So I'm going to mark that off, and this is marked off at 2440, mainly because at this point, we may adjust a little bit more as we go down to the H1 time frame. It has 3 rejections, and it formed a resistance, a really strong resistance. Makes sense because this, I believe, is the highest point inside of this market. So makes perfect sense to me. There is also another level that I want to mark off here on gold. Oops, let me move that. So is this level right here at 24, almost 2400 flat, mainly because we have a support here, we have a couple of rejections, and then we have this clean break. This is the same thing that we saw last week, but we want to make sure that we mark that off in case price comes back to that point to either reject this level or continue up. So very important stuff there. And I'm looking at these other levels. So far, they are looking really good to me. Amazing. So yeah, I think I like this level still at 2360. So let's go down to the H1 time frame and see if we can make some more adjustments. Because literally what I am drawing out right here for you is exactly what I do in my own trading. I literally just use the same charts. So I am going to take this top one and move it all the way up to 2450 because it did form a really strong resistance here before selling off tremendously. And I really like this resistance level right here, although at 2430, but I am going to push it up just a little bit. So that way it covers these 3 wicks that were rejection wicks. And then this still looks good right here at 2400 flat almost. This looks really good right here because we have a number of rejections and price fell down from there. And then right here, it actually looks like we have or we had a fake out. So really interesting, but don't really need to mark that off. And I remember looking at this today, but it was beyond the time that I traded, so I was just kind of watching it, and today was kind of choppy anyway, so just wanted to make sure that I have this marked off. So anyway, that is all looking good to me. And then these levels still look good to me. This looks good as well, although I am going to mark this kind of right here at 2290 because this is a really strong rejection level. It formed a support here. Then we got two strong rejections. We got two rejections here. So that looks good to me. So let me see if there's anything else. I'm just trying to see. One thing, or a couple of things that I do see are minor levels. So here's a minor level right here at 2360, 2368. So pretty much if price was to come up here, this could be an area where price could get hung up. But then the same thing is true right here as well. And the same thing is true right here as well. So this level right here was at 2373, kind of 75. This was 2382, kind of close to 2380, and then up here as well. So at 2394.95. So I don't always mark these levels off just because I feel like it crowds up my chart, and I just like to wait to see what price action does instead of marking these things off. I mean, obviously I have the information, I have the candles to the left, so I could always look at that, but I don't really like to mark those off because I feel like it just makes my chart too messy. So this was on the H1 time frame. So pretty much, as you can see, price is in a really big consolidation range right here, from 2360 roughly all the way to 2327. Obviously, if you're a very aggressive trader, you may look for some opportunities inside of here. I mean, one could be at this support level. Price obviously bounced off of here a couple of times before coming all the way up here. And then same here, it bounced off in reverse, came down, and it's kind of doing the same thing, but it did finally break here, but price is literally at the support level / resistance level. So who knows what price is going to do. Definitely want to wait for some volume to enter the market so that way I can see if, see if the move gets cleared where basically I can figure out what or who's in control. Is it buyers or sellers? So I will be pretty much not taking any trades inside of here. But one thing I will be doing is looking for buys above this level. And then also I will be looking for sells below this level right here. Yeah. So that's pretty much the game plan. And then, of course, if price continues to move down here, which it definitely could on gold because obviously there's a lot of volume inside of this market, there could be other levels that price tap into. Like, I'm just going to use a different thing here, but right here at 2280 kind of level, price could tap into that because it has come here before and it rejected a couple of times, and then also price came here before, but it just did a straight rejection. It didn't stay around no time at all. So that's something to consider. And then, of course, if price breaks above here, this is essentially clean range for price to come up. So this is my game plan for this upcoming week when it comes to gold. And if you found this helpful, then go ahead and subscribe to this channel so that way you can get more information like this in the future.